Hello there, ladies and... Good? Good to go? Alright, guys. Welcome to the CSL League of Legends Town Hall Q&A for the beginning of this new season, Season 6. Or 7, actually. We're actually very excited to be here. We have a lot of questions to answer for this season. First off, I want to thank NCIX.com for sponsoring us, as well as MSI and Razer. Buy their products, people. They're amazing. They're great. They love esports and all that good stuff. So here I am with Brittany Lantanzio. She is the League of Legends coordinator for the CSL. Hi there, Brittany. How are you today?
Good. I'm doing great.
Cool. And we have Sam Brown, whose video cannot be displayed, and she is the community liaison. So she's having a little problem with her video. That's okay. She sounds fine. Guys, if you want to submit questions live, we have a list here that we're going to answer. But again, we do want to take your questions in live as well. So yeah, Sam Brown, she is back with us. She is the coordinator for USC, and she's also the community liaison for the CSL League of Legends staff. Hi there, Sam. How are you?
Good. Thanks for asking.
Cool. And then I, of course, am Chris Sokamura, also known as Kid Liquid. I will be moderating this entire thing. I am a community liaison for the CSL, mainly StarCraft 2, but I am working with League of Legends for the beginning of this season. So welcome everyone once again. And I guess, yeah, just get right into it. Any opening thoughts from any of you guys about the season? Anything you want to say about it? How excited you are? Anything like that?
Well, I'm super excited. So this is like a new position for me. We're hoping to do a lot different this season and sort of a fresh start from last season. And this is like hopefully the beginning of reaching out to the community more and working with you guys to make a great season. Anything for you, Sam?
I'm just really excited to get to know all of the teams that are participating with us. So.
Yay.
Cool. So I guess we'll get to the first question here. We talked a lot about like rosters and like how teams this year can add players to the roster up until the playoffs. So is there a solid roster limit?
I mean, we have to have regular players, and then you're going to get a sub list. But in terms of limit, I think it's unset right now. So you can put people on up until the playoffs. So as soon as the playoffs happen, the lineups are frozen. And then in order to play someone in the playoffs, they've had to at least been on your team, on your roster beforehand.
Oh, is there any worry or any kind... Oh, what's up? Keep on.
No, it's to the point that I was just get as many people involved as possible. So.
Awesome. And then is there some kind of probation period or deadline for adding players during the season so that like you can kind of, you don't have that like last minute kind of add on saying 5 minutes before the match, hey, we're adding him onto our roster for the team kind of a thing situation?
Yeah, so as soon as the players sign up, they have to be signed up as soon as the playoffs start, the lineups are locked. So as long as they've played beforehand, they can play in the playoffs, in the game beforehand, in regular season.
And we also have a question from the Twitch channel, actually. Are they going to be able to manage their own rosters, or do they have to email the CSL admins to make changes and things like that?
Right now, the website, we're still doing the emailing the admins to make changes. But, I mean, we're trying to work on the website to implement that and make it more for the coordinators to actually be managing their teams and feel more like you're a manager. So it really depends on how the website ends up and what it can handle, but right now it's set to emailing admins.
So I know the website had a lot of problems last season and things like that. So is it going to be ready? Are we finally going to see the completed brand new CSL Collegiate Star League website?
Yes, I hope so. It should be done. I mean, we were working hard on it this summer. I know we took it down for a bit just to get it all updated, but I'm hoping that like some of the features that people were talking about being frustrating last season are ironed out. All the details are ironed out, and it's more functional and user friendly. So I saw the new look for it. It looks nice. So hopefully these will all be fixed for you guys.
Absolutely. So, one more thing to just look out for. How's the sign-up process going to work here? How's that going to work?
So registration will start about mid-September. So you will designate a team coordinator who will basically be like a manager for your team who's responsible for liaisoning with us and getting details from us and then reporting to your team. And this coordinator will make an account for your team on the website. And then individual players will have to register on the website as well using a valid student email, And then once these are all inputted, we will activate your team, and then the coordinator will be set to be able to add people onto their roster. So it'll be the same sort of format as last season, hopefully a little smoother with the website changes, but same sort of idea. So about mid-September, the coordinator will have to be looking for posts from us about when to start that process.
And I know, so one of the biggest things that we brought up as well this season was the idea of having like a main premier division and more of a casual division, so Division 1, Division 2. How are we seeing that work out? And I know we were planning on it before the partnership last season happened, but we were planning on doing it last season. But how are we putting it in this season? How's it working? And also for Sam, how does it work as a community perspective as well?
All right, Sam, you can start with that question.
Wait, could you repeat that again? Sorry, I was distracted by questions in the chat.
Got you covered. It's okay. But no, the division, okay. Like the premier division and then the subdivisions, so the Division 1 and 2s, how is that helping the community, or how does that fuel sort of this community dynamic that we're trying to build here?
Well, you could look at it this way. If your team is tired of, getting, I guess, taken out of tournaments, they have a shot at playing with people who aren't like significantly different in skill level. Does that answer your question? Was that it?
It really does help that I can actually see that happening. So, Brittany, any decision on competition-wise, or as a league, making that happen?
For the Division 1 and 2?
Yes.
Yeah. So the reason, as Sam mentioned, the reason we inputted that is because there was a lot of frustration expressed from the community about signing up for this league and either being creamed, which is no fun, or winning way too easily, which is no fun. So we sort of try to implement the divisions, and this would help filter people into their own sort of category where they feel more comfortable, or if they want to be more competitive and more, casual.
Yeah. And I think it also, sorry to cut you off, but it's, if you think about it, there's a lot of time, and this was expressed to me by people in the community, there's a lot of time spent, playing these games in, the season, where you don't want to waste a lot of time playing a team that's not your skill level, because, you waste a lot of time that way, and this definitely helps that.
Yep. So the divisions will work. Basically, you can choose where capping the Division 1 will be the competitive sort of league, which will be, they'll play more games in a weekend, so they'll play a best of 3. And this will be leading up to the grand final. Whereas the Division 2, you can have as many teams as you like in there, so you can have 800 teams if you wanted. That'd be amazing. But we just want to put as many teams into that league as possible because we want to get people involved in playing, because League of Legends is fun and it's fun to play. But the Division 1 will be you're limited to one team per school, so you want to pick your best for that league.
Absolutely. And so the way we're structuring these divisions are we're putting them into conferences, right? So we're putting them into this, something happened to the screens. Hold on, guys. Yeah, so we had Sam actually drop out here. So she is now gone. She is missing. Brittany, how are you?
Good, I'm doing great. I'm sorry, like yeah.
You're like
trying to answer these
halfway
questions
on the
as best I
screen,
can.
halfway.
I know.
Oh, don't worry about it. You're doing a great job. Everyone in the chat thinks you're doing a great job. So I guess we'll just ask you some more basic questions. We had some talk in the chat about, we had a lot of consistent no-shows and sort of forfeiting and just people just not being as committed to the CSL last season. So are we going to be more stern on that, and how are we going to be fixing that mentality here?
Yeah, so that one's tough because we kind of can't control whether or not teams show up. So that's a tough one to do. We're doing our best, and I think this season we're trying to be more strict on getting people, if they don't show up, getting them removed. Consistently don't show up, getting them removed from the season, more strictly, more likely to happen this season. We didn't enforce it as strictly last season. I think it was a lot of the website being kind of confusing, but I think what will help with that is we have the standardized time, and that will help because when teams sign up, they know that they have to be there for one time every week. They have to commit that time, and if they can't, then they have to take more steps to rescheduling, because what would happen last season is teams would show up, one team would show up and the other team would email the night before asking for a rematch or to move the time, and that would be kind of mess everything up. And so we're trying to get a better time frame for making reschedules, making it a deadline a lot earlier for rescheduling, and then also setting the standardized time, which will help with teams, making sure that they're committed to playing for the season. And if they consistently do not show up, we will be removing them more forcefully.
Absolutely. So, yeah, getting back on that, I guess, for rescheduling matches and things like that, what if both teams can't make it on that particular Saturday and they can't really make any rosters? Is that our decision to make, or do both teams just sort of get a null?
We usually try to, what we've done, which I think works, is try to do it on a case-by-case basis and really work hard to get the teams to make up their match. We don't like having teams having to cancel their match. So even if, we've had some matches be 1 or 2 weeks later, and we just trust that the teams are going to put in their best effort to be available. But that's also why we have this substitution system in place, so you can use backups if you're having a lot of trouble. It's a little tougher with games like League of Legends or Dota, where you need to rely on 5 people's schedules. But we're doing our best, and I think we just hope that people are working with us in this to keep the games going.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really important to sort of have something at least kind of in place. So, yeah, I guess getting now more into sort of the rulings of things, there's a rule in there that says we're talking about restarts and restarting games and things like that. And so we have why does a mistake with ruins, masteries, and or summoner spells get a restart without punishment, when it's their mistake for not paying attention? Because we do have rules on restarting because of disconnects or things like that, but what about, regarding ruins, masteries, and summoner spells? Why does that get the restart?
I think because, my mentality, my attitude toward this is sometimes that stuff happens, and one time it's going to happen to you, and you would really want it, you'd be like, shit, this sucks. You'd really want it to be reset for you. So I think we just give people the benefit of the doubt and then say, okay, if this mistakes happen, let's let you remake it, because it's not going to be as much fun. And the primary goal here is for people to have fun. And we just, again, hope that people are understanding and with this sort of thing. If it becomes something that every single game it's a reset with runes, we do have admins checking this out. So hopefully we can catch that sort of thing, but that's more in place as a safety net, because once in a while these things happen and we don't want people to be kind of messed up because of that. It's not fun.
We do have Miss Brown back with us as well.
Hey, sorry.
That's exciting. It's okay. It's okay. Esports waits for no one, but it's okay. So, yeah, I do agree. I do agree, Brittany, that it's sort of a respect kind of a thing and a golden rule kind of a ruling. But are we going to be less strict on the Division 2 since it is more casual, or is it or is that D1 going to be the LCS kind of strict rulings? We have a rule for everything kind of a league.
I mean, it's honestly, it just works easiest to have it standardized across both. And again, I mean, Div 2 is supposed to be more casual and more fun, but it is not fun playing if you have that sort of error too. So we want to keep it the same for everybody. That's how I feel. I'm not sure. What do you think, Chris? What do you feel? Think that makes sense?
Agree, and I think that D2 can kind of fill the role of being a side league or like a building block league to the main event, really. I mean, like if you're playing D1 and you're not going to put your best players into D2. So when players from D1 graduate or leave or they get worse or someone comes up, then they're already used to that format in D2 and you can just kind of transfer over to D1. So I think standardizing it is, like you said, is a lot easier for us and can also help manage it further going along. So I do enjoy that quite a bit.
Again, and as I said, I think the focus this season is a lot more helping out, like a lot more community-based focus, which is why we have Sam on board help us out, and Chris too.
Yeah.
So that's our drive on this season. So it's all about you guys.
It's always about us, but no. Also, we had a question early in the chat of how do transfers get taken into account if a player's transferring over or things like that. Are we accommodating to the transfer? Or?
So, like, I think was it specifically about Drexel, and I think I saw that.
Yeah. There's something about Drexel up here.
Let's read it.
Yeah, so it says.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so Catching Catcher, I'm reading your post here. It says, I'm a transfer to UMBC from Drexel. However, I may be transferring back to Drexel after 1 year. And from what I know, UMBC does not have a team. Am I still able to be a part of Drexel's team? I currently manage 3 teams for Drexel. So is it on a case-by-case basis?
For this issue, it does look like a case-by-case thing. Generally, what our rule is in terms of being in one school and playing for another is that it has to be a smaller school person going to a smaller school for a bigger school. And we do have like specific rules and numbers for that. But this looks like a case-by-case one in which we would have to contact like our other administrators and see what we've been doing with that in the past. But that is a great question, and I encourage you to email our law account, law@cstarleague.com, and then we'll look into your case and see what we can do about that.
Just to add on to what Brittany was saying, the biggest thing, and this is with any division of the CSL, whether it's League of Legends, StarCraft 2, or Dota 2, we want to help you guys out, the players and the people that are in our leagues and helping us make the CSL what it is. We want to help you out as much as possible. So even if there's a rule for it and it might be a case-by-case basis, don't be afraid to ask. Never be afraid to ask, and we'll try to help out the best we can. Always a good process.
Yes.
To just ask. Cool. Awesome. So Sam, now that you're back.
Yes.
How are you? How was the break?
It was good. My roommate's moving in, and she accidentally unplugged the router, so sorry about that.
Okay. So we have the disconnect of the router. So again, we do have a rule that mentions disconnects and restarts and things like that.
There you go.
And so so we do have rules regarding within the first 5 minutes and then covering the rest of the game. Regarding lag and ping kind of issues, ping spikes in the middle of something, past the 5-minute mark and past where we're headed, or past 5-minute mark or past first blood. What's the ruling on a disconnect or a restart or things like that? It's up to the admin then to decide.
Is this a question for me?
Yeah, well, either one of you. Or
Okay, can you repeat? I was answering a question in the chat. Can you repeat that? Sorry.
No problem. I have the chat on lockdown. Pay attention to the questions, Brittany.
Sorry,
So
sorry.
She wants to help, ladies and gentlemen. She's just a kind soul. You have to keep her focused. So we do have rules regarding like disconnects and restarts and lag and ping issues like in the first 5 minutes. And later on we just say that, is it up to the admins if it's after first blood or after the first 5 minutes? If something happens or if there's like a power outage or something just happens, is that just a lost cause there or a forfeited game, or is it just, is there a way to talk to the admin about it?
Yeah, so the admins are always going to be available, the game, usually on the client in a CSL chat. And so these sort of stoppage of play things, as long as it's pre-first blood and within the first 5 minutes, you can call for a pause or a restart of the game. And that is, again, to help you guys out, because sometimes stuff happens, like your router gets unplugged by your roommate, and you need to restart the game. There are also other issues where you can restart if your headphones break, like mine did, if your mouse breaks, whatever. And then someone on your team can call for in all chat a restart. After you do that, you tell the administrator, and then you disconnect. Because if the game plays out past the 5 minutes marks, that will count. So it's important that you remember, if you're having a difficulty and you need a restart, to say in all chat, my teammate's router exploded, whatever, and then exit the game, like quit the game, and then tell the administrators who will be there. Every game they'll be there. Is that
admin is always available, always a good thing.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so now that Sam's back, let's get back to the question I was preparing to ask before. It was that we're splitting the conferences into these West and East Coast kind of divisions, and so people are saying that one conference might be a little more stacked. So, it might be a little bit harder to get to the playoffs or a little bit harder to succeed. So, Brittany, from a competition standpoint, why that? And then Sam, also from a community's perspective, what does that add or take away from the CSL, having it just region locked or having these regional divisions?
Yeah, I can answer that one first if that's okay. So from a community standpoint, we think that it's really important for players in each region to build a community, and rivalries are a good thing, and we want to have more interaction between schools, just like, if you look at regular sports, you can think about it that way. It's just great to build that kind of community relationship instead of being paired against teams that they're across the U.S. or something, and you don't quite know where they're from. You just know that you're playing them. You might know if they're good or not, but there isn't really much else other than that. So we want to build that relationship.
Yep, so there's a community aspect to making the East and the West. There's also just a practical aspect. Last season, we had players, they had games at 3 different times, and then with time zones, some players would get mixed up and then show up for their 3 o'clock game, but it happened at 12 o'clock or something, and then it would just cause a lot of problems. It just happens. So we just set the standardized time and did it East and West Coast, so people know every Saturday at 3 you have to show up, or every Saturday at noon you have to show up. And so there's there's 2 aspects to making the divisions. It's practical and sort of community fun side too.
Awesome. So are we going to have some kind of, or more kind of, I know we have the community lands and the events set up, but are we going to do more events? Like, I know that the Olympics was extremely successful and everything that we did there. And so I was excited to be a part of that and help put that on. So are we going to be doing more things like that? And is the season ready for it?
Well, Sam is our community head. I know she's on board and excited to do more events and contests and stuff. What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, Yeah, we had a lot of fun. I know my team participated in the Olympics, and yeah, it was really fun. And I think that a lot of people would enjoy that aspect. Maybe there are people in your clubs who aren't really interested in the competitive, and that's okay. But if they wanted to try their hand at something like what were some of the games, like the sumo wrestling with Alistar, like the Finding Timo.
Famous race. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun, and I think it brought a lot of us together. We got to know. I got to know West. I think they're West Washington University. I just know them by WWU. I got to know them really well, and it was really fun. So definitely more opportunities like that should be. We'll be organizing. I'm pretty sure. I mean, Brittany, what do you think?
No, I think that's why I have Sam. She's good at what she does, and I want her on board doing that. So we'll be doing more stuff, as I said earlier, as we've been iterating often, is that this season's all about you guys. And if you guys want stuff, and if you think of anything you think would be cool, don't feel free to email us and let us know. Something, if you want help organizing something, or if you have an idea you want to see put in, then we're always open. The inbox is always open. So.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, and Brittany, you came up with all the ideas for those games, right?
Yeah, one of them, the dodgeball was on a stream. Yeah, but other than that, they're all me. I was overtired and on an airplane. I was like, this would be hilarious. I think a lot of them were a lot funnier in my mind than they turned out being, but I think it went okay.
No, guys, we got to test a lot of them, and we got to see them actually be played and things like that. And just from a personal view, if you're gonna go back and watch those, they're hilarious and they're awesome. And I can't pick a favorite because they're just great. So yeah, if Brittany can come up with more of those, and if Sam can actually come up with all of those, and they can put their minds together and like work, it's gonna be amazing. And so I'm very excited for this season.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be awesome and and exciting and things like that. So a lot of people are asking about the prizes and the goals and the benefits, and so Division 1, Division 2 prize monies. What's Division 2's what's their big prize?
So there will be, like, the season is going to culminate in a live grand final, just like last season. This will be for the Division 1. So there's incentive there to put a Division 1 team in. First, that's the main incentive. Going to the live event, in itself was pretty cool. The prize pool is to be determined right now. We haven't announced it, but there will be a prize pool. Likely a good one, but hopefully a good one. And for Div 2, I think the main is just getting involved with the game. As I said earlier, the game's fun. People like to play. It's way more fun if you play on a team and have some sort of objective to build up to, whether it be we want to get better, or whether it be we want to have fun on weekends when we're not in school, or I want to be really good and I want to be in the Div 1 team next year, or I want to meet new people. I'm in first year, or what do you guys call it, freshmen, and I want to meet more people. So I think there are internal incentives for being just in Div 2, but obviously there are more external incentives for being in Div 1. But, Sam, anything to add?
That's true. I just think in general it's really cool to be part of this. I think it's really cool to be part of the whole esports movement. I don't know. I mean, you guys all know that this just became, League of Legends just became a recognized sport, and this is gonna, be comparable to collegiate sports in a way, and I think it's really awesome to be part of that. So I mean, just those are incentives to be part of either one of those, just in either one of those divisions, just in general. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and unfortunately, I'm not in school, so I don't. I'm done school. I'm old, so I don't actually get the experience of playing one of these teams. But man, I wish I was there when this was on because it was so fun. I don't know. Sam, you've probably seen a lot of growth and friendships and stuff in your league, so.
Yeah. Yeah, our team just got together this summer, and I'm really impressed with the hard work they've put into this. It gave them like a purpose, and they're all like best friends now. It's actually really funny. They go out to Korean barbecue like every weekend. So
Of course they do.
yeah.
Cool. And then there's also those, I mean, Riot's really getting into the collegiate scene too. So there's those sort of incentives too. Communicating with Riot, working with them, opportunities, to build a relationship with them too. So that's something as well.
That's very true.
So, I mean, there's a lot of good questions here. I was just saying, how do you get people interested to, as a coordinator, so Sam, maybe you can answer this one. As a coordinator, how do you get them interested in playing D2? Instead of just saying like, oh, you can be D1 later. It's like a training ground. But how do you get them to say, put time and effort and all of this work into being a D2 team?
I don't know. It's really hard. I think that we didn't really consider having like a B team or having like a bunch of subs for our team because I didn't think that people wanted to play. And then, they started watching my team play on streams and they got super excited and they're like, I want to be part of this. Like, maybe I'm not ready for D1, but I'm totally ready for D2. And I think that that's just like, I don't know, stressing like the fun of it. Also, maybe there are people who are scared of being in the Division 1. Stressing that Division 2 is probably just a more fun experience for those who are nervous about that. Might be a good way to promote that. And then, like you said, saying that there's a possibility to graduate to Division 1. Thanks, Ben. Yeah.
Cool. Brittany, anything to add onto that, or no? I don't know.
I think personally, like if I were playing, I'd want to be on D2. D1 too much pressure, man. Some people are just like being on fun teams. So.
Yeah, and if last year was any indication, I mean, we had some great teams last year to go into our finals. We had UCI, Texas A&M, Fontes, and University of Korea, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so.
It was Chunam.
No, Chunam was StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
University of Korea was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Fontes was the League of Legends team, correct?
Yes, they were very cool.
Yeah, and so those guys were amazing.
Yeah,
they're great.
And some of them went on to try out for KTB, I think, or KTB one of the two.
And the thing that's really scary too is that this season's looking stronger. Some schools in the U.S. at least I know have really stepped it up and are looking amazing too. So.
Yeah.
We got a lot of competition this year, and it should be really fun to watch. So yeah, in terms of viewing, I mean, what days are we thinking about streaming and things like that, or what's the stream schedule looks like? Is it gonna be on the Saturdays that we're playing the matches on?
This one last season we did it on Tuesday, Wednesday, I believe. So I'm not sure. I think there's an option to allow casters in your game or streamers in your game. But that's with permission. And then so you can have your own team watching you on the Saturday. There are ways you can request that your team be admitted to observe. And then there are ways you can request to have someone stream it or someone cast it. So that's also cool community building stuff too. You can show up and cheer on your team. But I think in terms of casting schedule, it'll be during the week. Unless it's playoffs.
Awesome. And so, yeah, anything else? Any questions, last minute questions, guys?
I just wanted to add that it's really cool to promote having your clubs spectate games and watch their teams. I don't know how many schools don't do that, but we've found at USC that it's a really awesome experience. Our club gets like really excited about that. So I encourage, obviously, everyone to show their clubs that.
Yeah, and last at the finals. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. No, keep going. Continue.
So at the finals, I think it was UCSD brought like a bus full of people, and they had like the whole place was filled with their fans. It was really cool. Like I was sitting in the audience, I was like, anytime anything cool happened, they were all like screaming and stuff. So it's a nice team spirit. And
UCI brought like a busload of people.
Yeah, it was sweet.
Absolutely. So
a
great question from the chat. Yeah, how are we going to determine which teams get streamed?
So I think so Brandon is our tournament guy and Brent is our production guy. I think last season what they did is they looked for matches that were, again, with the whole East Coast, West Coast, the rivalry is building up. So they looked for matches that were big name matches or like a lot of rivalry or whatever between the teams. And they also, if you had a really good replay, so every game that you play, you'll have hopefully all replay because you need to send in replays, or if you have after the game or you report, your coordinator will need to send in a replay of the game. So if you have one that's like really cool and you thought it was a great game, you send it in to us and then we can, take a look and then maybe cast it or show it on when we do our regular stream. So there's incentive for you guys to play as well. That's what's more incentive for you guys to play in the league. It's like, cool, I get to be streamed. It's pretty fun.
There's
my cat.
Are we planning on streaming any D2 games as well? Just sort of more casual kind of fun stuff, or?
I mean, I personally, I think that's fine. It depends on what games we get in, because we have a lot of games going on, so it's really hard for us to, look at all of them. But if you guys send them in and say, hey, this was pretty cool, or whatever, we can take a look and see if it's something we want to do. But I imagine a lot of them will be D1, just because that will be the main focus of the tournament. So.
Awesome. And so, we had another question in here as well. So in the guide, we say that you need a letter from the dean of the school for if you're a top 8 team, you need to have a letter from the dean of your school writing and saying that the students are actually students of the school. I think last year we allowed school records to verify that as well. So how strict are we on that?
That is one that we have to be pretty strict on. Last season we did do the transcripts. I was the person who had the wonderful pleasure of going through all the transcripts and making sure they were authentic enough for us. But the letter from the dean is actually easier. So that's not too bad. It can be from your registrar's office just saying, it doesn't have to be from the dean signed, but that is obviously the best. Or something from the registrar's office that's signed by somebody to verify it.
I know, at least at USC, that you don't have to walk right up to the dean. You don't walk right up to them and go, "Hey, can you sign this?" and then have to explain for a video game league. But you can. It's pretty easy. At least at my school, I know our dean has to sign a ton of stuff, like whether it's a law certification or some kind of student event needs approval. They usually have an assistant who will be more than willing to, to pass it along. That's their job. That's what they have to do. So you shouldn't look at that as a hurdle, I guess, because that's what the deans are usually there for. Yeah. And if you have any trouble, again, like Brittany said, the registrar's office is another place that does that kind of thing. So,
yeah, we just want to go with something that's from the school signed. It's a lot easier. A lot of people are having troubles with transcripts, getting them in and getting the right kind of transcript in. So if you go with a letter that's signed from the registrar or the dean, it's a lot easier for us and a lot easier for you, actually.
So I guess we'll wait for another minute or another couple 30 seconds or so to get these questions in. Last minute questions, anyone? How are you guys feeling? Sam?
Us?
Brittany, how are you guys feeling? Are you guys good? You guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
I realized I was
Fun.
doing thumbs up, and you can't like see me do that. So.
Yeah.
So apparently Catching Catcher broke a statue of his dean, which is really scary. I don't even know how. Oh yeah, so regional events.
How are
Yeah,
you not
so the
expelled?
regional events, as far as I know, they're all posted onto the Team Liquid thread. They're all on there. It's posted into the chat.
Yeah. So they have those regional events going around. Yeah, go to those. Don't break statues
they're gonna
of
be
people.
awesome. There's a ton of
Again, what I
fun.
know now, don't break statues. Yeah, so yeah, the regional events are all posted on Team Liquid. We put it there for now. We will have our website up and fixed and beautiful soon. But yeah, so those just show up, go hang out. I want to go, but there's none in the East Coast, on the East Coast really that I'm close to. Sam, are you gonna go?
Brittany's in Canada.
Yeah.
Brittany's in Canada.
No, I live in America now.
You do?
Yes.
Wait, since when?
Oh, I thought you were still in. I thought you were still in Canada.
A year now. I'm Canadian.
I
live in Providence.
Where have I been? You.
And,
Hey, last time I talked to you, you're in Canada. So like, hey, that's the last time I talked to you, you're in Canada.
Wow, that was a long time ago, man.
Anything East Coast to me is just Canada. You guys are Canada. California matters. California matters.
Yeah.
Current topic is my residency, man. It's exciting. Yeah, I'm Canadian. Hey.
Yeah, we actually USC is having hopefully something some kind of regional event. Is that what we're talking about? Like how we're having like schools. Okay, yeah, we want to do that because I don't know, that's an awesome opportunity. I know that we have a ton of stuff planned in SoCal, so just keep an eye out for that. And with CSL's participation as well.
Yep. And again, if you guys have any, we have lots of experience and resources for you guys. If you need help or advice or whatever, lol@csl.com. Email us, ask for anything. We'll try and help you out. We're here for it.
Yeah, guys, while we're at it as well, big shout out to Eason Morris. He's been running the stream the entire time, and he's been updating the current thread topic. And he is the admin and the coordinator for UCLA. And so I've just been laughing
UCLA.
because this topic bar has been like his window into the conversation. And so he's just typing like all kinds. It's hilarious. So if you want to go back and watch the VOD, make sure to watch Eason's comments because they're awesome and hilarious at the same time.
Yes, and Eason's also working with Sam in the community department for CSL. So
and so
again, we're going to be leaning on him a lot to help out you guys with your stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right, guys. Any other questions? Any last minute things before we end the stream here? Anything else? You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cool. All right. So no more questions. Nothing else. Any closing thoughts, Brittany, Sam? Anything else?
Thanks for watching.
Really
Hopefully it was helpful. I'm really excited too. It should be a great season.
Yeah.
If you have any questions or comments, concerns, quandaries, queries, whatever, send them to us, law@csl.com. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. I kind of do. Someone's saying playing the league with us. I kind of do want to play league. We should. It'd be fun. ARAMs. Let's do some ARAMs.
Yeah. And so, and also, guys, if you are looking for your volunteer positions or any kind of job openings with us, always just send an application, a cover letter or resume, just to lol@cstarleague. And I think we are we taking ones for SC2 and Dota as well? I think we're always just taking them in.
Pretty much for, like, we always look at everybody. We always consider everybody. So we do, like, even things that you, like, wouldn't think were things. Does that make sense? That you can apply for. So, like, we're looking for people to help Sam in the community. We're looking for writers. We're looking for casters. We're looking for admins. If you can only donate a couple hours of time a week, you can be an admin on the weekend. I do ask that if you're trying to be a writer, caster, or graphics artist, that you send in a sample just to take a look. But other than that, just, resume, cover letter, little thing.
Tell us why you're awesome and why you want to be part of the CSL.
Yes.
And how much you love MSI and Razor.
Yes, MSI and Razor.
Yes, them too.
NCIX and MSI, thank you.
Yeah, guys. So yeah,
Big hearts,
so thanks
people.
again to our sponsors, NCIX, MSI, Razor. They've been helping us out, putting on this amazing season, and hopefully, for the foreseeable future. So guys, thank you for being with us the entire time for this past 40 minutes or so. And yeah, thank you and good luck with the rest of the season. And any questions or anything else, feel free to contact us on Twitter, Facebook, Collegiate Star League, or any three of us as well. Yeah, just let us know. So have a very good night and a very good rest of the season.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Bye.